How's it going, everybody? It's Carlos, one of your hosts of the Bring on the Blitz podcast, and I'm joined here, like I am every time we do this show, with the one and only Rios. How you doing, Rios?
We are 1 week closer to Thanksgiving, my favorite time of year.
There you go. Yes, right. Nothing like getting some football on TV, and of course, enjoying a nice, hearty meal with the fam. All right. We're gonna be doing some Texans talk, since that's our local affiliate here. Not affiliate, but our local team here in Houston. And of course, we are going to be discussing a little bit of the college football stuff, along with some colleges, some rankings, and then some favorites in the Heisman Trophy run. All this and more when we return from our intro. Hit it.
Tell them bring on the blitz. 20 number dogs don't miss. Fourth down and flick of the wrist. And we go for the wrist. Jumping and racing they fist. With Carlos and Poppy and Rios, they bring on the blitz. 20 number dogs don't miss. Fourth down and flick of the wrist. And we go for the wrist. Jumping and racing they fist. With Carlos and Poppy and Rios, they bring on the blitz.
I really like that intro. It's so awesome. I love it. Pumps me up. All right, man. As we were talking about, let's talk a little bit of Texans. No CJ Stroud in the lineup against the Jacksonville Jaguars. There was a lot of thoughts that this was going to be a Texans loss. Based on previous games with Davis Mills at the helm, taking over CJ Stroud, and his ability to do what he did previously before CJ Stroud got in the Texans. So, but nonetheless, the Texans rallied back and a good comeback from behind win against the Jacksonville Jaguars, a rival opponent in the AFC South, which is I believe it's a message that the Texans send out to the rest of that they're still in it. They're still in it. Rios, your thoughts on the game, brother? What happened? What do you think?
Well, going into it, essentially a lot of the media and local media as well, basically, this game was going to be their season. They lose this game, their chances for making the playoffs drop from like upper 40s. I can't remember the exact number. It was like, if they win, it was like 43, 44, somewhere in that range, percentage chance of making the playoffs versus losing, it drops drastically down to like 13%. So this was, their season was on the line. If they didn't perform, they didn't win, they, basically starting their mock drafts.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry, did we finish her?
Well, yeah. So the first 3 quarters, just as a pure spectator of football, it was very, very difficult to watch. I mean, it was they just could not stop shooting themselves in the foot. And the fact that Jacksonville couldn't put them away early was like, maybe there's an inkling of a comeback, but I don't think anyone saw them scoring 26 points in the fourth quarter. Not the way those first 3 quarters went.
Right. It seemed unexpected. It didn't seem feasible based on how the game was going up until the fourth quarter. 26 points in the fourth quarter. It's insane. But yeah, they were able to get it done, and I mean, shocker to us all. That I mean, it wasn't. It was they stayed in it, and they're still in it. So they're not completely out of the woods yet. And then this upcoming weekend, the Texans are facing off against just a Titans team that is. We don't know what's happening with the Titans team. They fired their head coach, right? They fired their head coach. They're on an interim head coach right now, and it's just they're on a straight rebuild with the Titans. So I think it's going to be. I obviously I don't know if in this particular kind of game. Of course, you always play to win. It could be we not sure if CJ might come back for this game as well, giving him another one. Who knows? But since it's against this type, the Tennessee Titans. So, what do you think? Do you think people the Texans will see Davis Mills again this week?
If I was a betting man, which I am, I would expect them to start Davis Mills because they have a quick turnaround on Thursday to play the Buffalo Bills.
Right.
And I would think, CJ coming off a second career concussion in the NFL, DeMeco has shown that Coach DeMeco has shown that he plays it safe typically when it comes to injuries.
Right.
Typically gives his players an extra week. And I think with the short week coming up for them, more than likely we're going to see Davis Mills because it's Tennessee. They are essentially, like I mentioned earlier with the Texans, if they lost on Sunday, they're in mock draft season right now, basically kind of work on the draft boards.
Right.
So I don't expect them to put up much of a fight, even though it's a division rivalry game and they're playing at home. But as we've seen with the Texans when they've played Case Keenum in Tennessee, they not much of a challenge.
Right, exactly. So I agree with you. I think they're going to play it safe. I think they're not going to rush CJ Stroud just back in, and just like you said, because they got the Bills coming in on a Thursday night game. So I don't know. And D'Amico has a history of just making sure that those players get the rest and things like that. I mean, they were able to do that against Jacksonville, and hold off. I mean, that defense is elite. That defense with missing Jalen Pitre there too. They were still able to hold off, apply pressure and things like that. I think they're going to give Cam Ward a run for his money. I think they're going to make him uncomfortable like they did the first time around. Cam Ward will make mistakes, and then I think that's the number one defense in the NFL. The Texans defense is the number one defense in the NFL.
And it's great that you mentioned that. Like in every press conference after the game, the last was it 3 or 4 head coaches have all said the same thing. Like, this is the best defense in the NFL.
Yeah,
the Broncos head coach said it. Jaguars head coach said it. Ravens head coach said it. I mean, it's the 49ers head coach said it. I mean, it's honestly, it feels like if this offense would have figured things out much sooner in the season, we'd be talking about a completely different trajectory for this, this Texans team. They wouldn't be, trying to fight to get back to 500. They'd be talking about a team that's looking at a first round bye with the way this defense is playing.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. It's an elite defense. It's definitely an elite defense. I think if the offense, and that's the thing though, there's some things on offense that had started to click. That maybe this is what Nick Caley and D'Amico were talking about. Maybe some things, maybe some sharper throws, maybe stepping up in the pocket a little bit. Execution essentially is what they referred to. There seems to be a little bit more of that, even when Davis Mills was at the helm. Like, to be able to catch up 26 points is a true testament to, hey, the elite defense, first of all, to get the stoppage at the important times, and of course, I mean, the offense to actually to score the points. So they obviously did it against Jacksonville, and so they're proving, okay, something is clicking. Maybe they're going to start clicking at the right time. It's still, like I said, they're still in it to win it. Sorry, not to interrupt, but you saw some of it early on against the Broncos. Like, they were, they didn't score a lot of points, but the offense looked crisp until CJ went down, and then Davis Mills he wasn't warm, he hadn't practiced with the ones all week, goes in there cold, and you have to cater the offense to your quarterback skill set. Right.
PJ and Davis Mills are polar opposites as far as quarterback abilities. So I think, it wasn't a pretty picture when they played the Broncos, because the Broncos have a great elite defense as well. And, they were ready for Davis Mills. Yeah. But with a week of preparation, building the game plan to what his skill set, it took 3 quarters, but we saw it in the 4th.
It's almost like get that dust off, right? Get that little bit of rust. And I think that's the reason why I also believe, hey, maybe this is why they're going to start Davis Mills again this week, because they saw his projections, his trajectory throughout the 4th quarter, how, yes, he struggled in the 3rd. But he struggled for the first 3 quarters, and then he just kind of picked up the ball and ran with it, no pun intended. It's just he was able to command the offense and shine. But this is the Davis Mills of yore, remember? And the 4th quarter, what happens with Davis Mills? Those numbers, they go up. Remember that?
Well, yeah. Well, in hindsight, usually it was garbage time, which essentially it was. Yeah. But he was able to lead the team to victory.
He was. You can't take that from him.
Which we have not seen him do for the majority of his career.
Yeah, no, I agree, and that's the thing. That's an argument that I've seen a lot online. He's a valuable backup quarterback. He is very valuable backup.
He has 6 career wins as a starting quarterback. Half of those are against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I was gonna say he has a winning record against Jacksonville.
He's 3-1 against Jacksonville.
3-1.
It reminds me of TJ Yates against the Bengals.
The Bengals Slayer. Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. It's like the new version of TJ Yates. The funniest thing, and for context, every time TJ Yates faced off, there you go, she made an appearance. What's up, Gracie? And she's like, "Yay, what's up?" Every time TJ Yates would make an appearance against the Bengals, it was always a win. And even then, and this was like early 2010s, 2012, 2011, 2012, right? Nobody can forget the when the Texans went to their first ever playoff berth with TJ Yates and the Bengals home, and it was through TJ Yates throwing the touchdown. I want to say to Kevin Walker.
Kevin Walter, yep.
Walter, yeah. So that's where it started. And then, you still got TJ Yates. Every time they faced off against the Bengals, he would get a victory. And then on a Monday Night Football, I want to say, was it Deshaun Watson that got injured? And then TJ Yates,
No.
correct me if I'm wrong. Or I can't remember who it was. No, it might have not been Deshaun Watson yet. I'm sorry.
No.
I think it was, it might have been when Ryan Mallett and them were there, and Brian Hoyer, perhaps.
There's been a carousel of quarterbacks.
It's been a while, okay? Don't quote me on that, but it's been a while. However, it was a Monday Night Football game. TJ Yates started against the Bengals and had that awesome touch. He threw that touchdown to DeAndre Hopkins. That I remember.
Yes, they won 10-9. Remember that?
10-9. And again, this was years after the early 2010s, where again, the legend of TJ Yates and against the Bengals continued. And now you have almost like a new version of it with Davis Mills and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
You have TJ Yates, who's the mayor of Cincinnati, and now you have Davis Mills, the mayor of Jacksonville.
He
wants to be a mayor there, but
yeah. All right, so I obviously it's a motivating factor. I want to go on this, and I want to go on on this quote that was shared by D'Amico Ryans at the press conference on Monday. On the significance of showing a boxing video to the team before the game. So he says, this is D'Amico, I get a lot of things from a lot of different people just throughout. As the season goes on, I get messages, but from our team chaplain, Mikado Hinson, sent me a clip a couple of weeks ago. I always try to find the appropriate time to show things. If it's relevant to the team and I think it'll resonate with the team, then I'll show it. So I felt like that was a good moment for us and something else we needed to see. I mean, that's what a coach does. Motivate.
Motivates coach. Whatever motivates your guys. I mean, if it works, it works.
Yeah. And then what we talked about, Davis Mills right now. This is what stood out to D'Amico from the win against Jacksonville. And he says, the thing that stood out to me the most is how we finished the game, I would say, because like in that boxing match, a lot of bad things happened. The guy was down pretty bad and it didn't matter. He had the will and desire to win. That's what I wanted our guys to see. That's what I wanted them to do yesterday. It's just showcasing the desire to win no matter what happens, no matter how the game looks in the first half, how we're coming out, and how we're finishing in the second half. So I'm most proud of how we finished. We still have things to clean up. We can execute better when it counted, when we needed it most. Davis Mills, the receivers, they made outstanding plays. The touchdown pass to Dalton Schultz, it was such a huge play. To come back and make another huge third down pass to Dalton towards our sideline, those are huge plays that Davis made. He doesn't make those plays without the protection being good, which I agree. I thought our offensive line protected well and allowed Davis to make those plays. So I'm just really proud of how we truly finished the game. I agree. Mm-hmm. I wholeheartedly agree with that statement, because you got to see a little bit more of Jaden Higgins. You got to see a little bit more of Dalton Schultz, which, remember, very non-existent last season. This season has been the Dalton Schultz that you saw almost at the beginning of when he came over from Dallas. Mm-hmm. I like how they're using that. I like how they're using Dalton Schultz this season, but I think using your receivers, Jalen Noel, Jalen Higgins, spreading the ball around, I think that was a huge help as well.
And what was most surprising to me is they were missing 2 starting offensive linemen.
Correct.
But this was like the lowest pressure rate allowed all season.
Yes.
I think the only one that came close was against the 49ers.
I will say this though, and I the thing that I've liked about Davis Mills, and I've said this before, is the fact that how he gets rid of the ball. Might not be as accurate, but he gets rid of the ball. He steps up when he needs to.
Yeah, his
And
average
he
time,
evades some of that pressure.
yeah, his average time to throw was like 2.5 seconds. Like he was
Correct.
getting the ball quickly. It wasn't, like you mentioned, the most accurate of passes or the most well-placed balls. There was a few where I'm like, it was like you just kind of hold your breath and just hope for the best. And
Yes.
luckily for the Texans, they have Nico Collins, who's just playing at a different level on Sunday.
Oh yeah, he was all over.
I mean, some of those one-handed grabs that he had, I'm like, ooh. Like
Very impressive.
Sit back and admire, like, man. Especially on that 2-point conversion, like that one-handed grab. I mean, that doesn't get. I haven't seen enough clips of that because that was one of the plays of the game.
I agree. Just in case you're looking for stats, Nico Collins was targeted 15 times. For 7 receptions, 136 yards, and his longest one was 54 yards.
Yeah, that was he's right before halftime. That Hail Mary.
Dalton Schultz, 11 targets, 7 receptions, 53 yards, and a touchdown. 20 yards was his longest. Jalen Higgins, 7 targets, caught 5 of those for 42 yards, a touchdown as well. 12 yards was his longest. Jalen Noel, 4 targets, 4 receptions. So he caught all of them. He didn't drop anything. 35 yards. For 35 yards, which isn't much, but I mean, hey, that's key. Longest was a 27. It's a 27-yarder he got. Woody Marks got in there too for receiving. He had 3 targets, 2 receptions, 18 yards. Longest was a 12. Nick Chubb got in there too. 1 reception for 5 yards, but he's in it. And Christian Kirk, basically 1 reception for 3 yards. Not much out of him, but I think I think you're going to start seeing a little bit more of Jalen Noel as time moves forward, because the consistency, the ability to make plays, the elusiveness that he has, I think he's going to be your best guy in the slot. And that's why he was drafted anyway, to be in the slot. And then once Tank Dell returns, that's going to be very interesting competition.
It is.
Yeah.
I think Tank Dell's not really a slot receiver. He's always been or a wide receiver. He's never been in the slot.
Mm-hmm.
So I think essentially once he comes back, you're gonna have Nico on one side, and they're probably gonna have a rotation of Tank Dell. They're gonna ease him back in, and Jaden Higgins on the outside, and Jalen Noel as the Z receiver.
Yeah. Also, to give stats on Davis Mills, he was 27 to 45, 292 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. His quarterback rating was 84.7.
Surprising. Before the game, I can't remember who it was asking your predictions for stat lines for Mills. I had said he's gonna have like 200 yards, a touchdown, and no interceptions. Somewhat close.
Just a little bit.
It's off by a few hundred yards, but close enough.
Just a little bit. Yeah, that's insane. But yeah, that's what it was. Again, the Texans face off against the Tennessee Titans this weekend. If I'm gonna predict, I say the Texans win it. With or without CJ Stroud. It's kind of hard to tell what the score would be on that one, because it's all over the place for me, but I'd say it's a high score for the Texans. If anything, I would say they put up 21 to 6, 2 field goals from Tennessee. 21 to 6 Texans.
Right now, according to the Vegas odds, the Texans are almost a 9-point favorite, so it's going to be a blowout. It's going to be over early. I'm gonna think. I'm gonna go 34-3.
Okay.
Yes.
I mean, I think we both agreed that it's going to be a big differential. Watch, we're wrong.
I think we're going to see the guy they drafted in the 6th round, by the 4th quarter. It's going to be over early, because we haven't seen anything from this Tennessee offense that shows they're going to put up in kind of a fight. And same thing from the defense. They've just. And this is a question we ask, in the offseason, like, what exactly is Tennessee's plan? Because they didn't go full youth movement, but they also didn't add key depth pieces either. So it's like, and it's starting to show on the on-field product. It's just a mess.
Yeah, no, I agree. but yeah, that's what it's going to be. Should be something to watch. I mean, interesting, but like I said, the rule is any given Sunday. So even as we're speaking this and make our prediction, it's a professional team in the NFL. Anything can happen. Okay, so be on the lookout for that one.
That's what they call them, trap games. Because look at the Bills and the Dolphins.
Yes,
the Bills were like almost 10-point favorites according to the Vegas odds, and they got just dog walked.
And it's a division rival too.
Because the same thing with we said about the Titans offense, the Dolphins offense almost non-existent for the last couple of weeks. The defense is one of the worst in the league against the run and the pass, and it shut down Josh Allen.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So you can't take this game lightly. And I think, with the momentum they have going into this upcoming week, I don't think the coaching staff's going to let them, just breeze through practice. I think they're going to be locked in and try to, put them away early and focus on Thursday night football.
No, I agree. I think so too. It's definitely going to be one of those. It's like, well, next game, basically next game, right? But we'll see how that goes. I think they're going to go far. If I'm looking at, so if we look at the schedule, what is your prediction? How do you think this team ends? The Texans team ends, and to end it with the Texans talk. What do you think?
If they walk away with a win on Sunday, they'll have 7 games remaining after that. You face the Colts twice. You face the Bills, the Chargers, the Chiefs, and who's the other one they face? The Raiders. So I think they split the series with the Colts. As good as they're playing, we're starting to see a few cracks in Indiana Jones. He's starting to come back down to earth a little bit. I mean, Jonathan Taylor's playing out of his mind right now.
Yes, that's for sure.
I think they're going to go as far as Daniel Jones takes them, and he reverts to New York Giants Daniel Jones. Yeah, I don't know about that. So I see them splitting that series. I want to say they can possibly beat the Bills. The Bills right now look very vulnerable. They came into the year, Super Bowl favorites. There's a few teams that are Super Bowl favorites. They were one of them, and we haven't really seen that type of form from them since the beginning of the season. Like, they've had really questionable performances as of late, and we saw the last time that Houston played the Bills at home. It was not a good day at the office for Josh Allen. He had like 9 completions.
Yeah.
And the way this defense is playing right now, it's going to be another long day in the office for him.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the Texans defense is going to be a difference maker. With that being said, I think they do split the series with the Colts. I think the Texans win one, the Colts do win one too. This team could end up 10-7.
Yeah, I mean, for the final 8 games, I predict they go 5-3. I think they lose to the Chiefs. They lose one to the Colts, and then possibly the Chargers. Even though they basically just put on a spectacle the last time they played, I think might be a trap game for them because they got a lot of. It's a long season, and like you mentioned earlier, any given Sunday, so I could possibly see them losing that game.
Texans also lost MJ Stewart for the rest of the season, so that's a big concern because that safety position is always up. So most likely you probably see Jimmy Ward back on there.
Well, from what I've been seeing in the press releases, they're probably going to move Pitre back to safety, which I am not a big fan of. I think he's better on the spot. Even though he's not the best in coverage, him being in the nickel has him closer to the line of scrimmage, which I think he excels at.
Yes, yeah, he's the star role or whatnot. I agree with you. I think at coverage, Pitre has been phenomenal for Houston, but I think the coverage that when it comes to like man-on-man coverage, it's not as strong a suit.
Especially having him and Kalen Bullock, who's struggling a little bit this season in coverage. He's been picked on a little bit, and the opposing receivers have been getting the better of him so far.
He has the interceptions, but it's just
he's getting up a lot of plays, and you can see the lapses in coverage on some of those big plays. Perfect examples against the Broncos, where it looks like Sutton, just takes Derek Stingley's lunch. But if you go back and look at the replays of it, Stingley was in zone, expecting safety help, which was supposed to come from Kalen Bullock. he didn't, but he tried his best to catch up to him. But I mean, Sutton's a fast guy. He's not going to catch up to him with that kind of space and a zone coverage.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely interesting to see. All right, let's head over a little bit of college ball. So U of H when faced off against the Knights in basically Space City. It was a Space City Bowl this past weekend. For those who don't know, Space City Bowl, the Space Bowl is because Houston, obviously Space City, and then UCF is right there by
Jacksonville.
Excuse me.
It's by Jacksonville.
Yes, but Jacksonville. So they're both very and a lot of UCF graduates work for NASA and in the Space Center and things like that. So that's what they call it, the Space Bowl. It looked like UCF was going to get the victory, and eventually U of H came back from behind and ended up beating them 30 to 27. Pretty good drive at the end, and then it towards the very end that Houston defense stepped up. Coincidentally, Houston defense stepped up, got the interception, and closed out the game. Houston wins it to 30 to 7, like I said, and then Connor Wayman, he was 20 or 31, 223 yards, 2 touchdowns. His longest was 64 yards. He did get sacked twice though throughout the game. Cozio, tight end. Listen, what an addition. He honestly has been phenomenal for Houston. 66 yards, longest was 14. He was targeted 9 times. He was average. Yeah, he has been phenomenal. What a good safety net for Connor Wayman. Amari Thomas, I mean, 5 yards, 103 yards and a touchdown. The ball spread around a lot, and I think U of H, they're still bowl eligible, but the thing is, in the Big 12, honestly, Texas Tech is running the whole show. They have such an elite defense.
It kind of helps when you have billions of dollars of money falling into your school's program.
I mean, at this point, when you have 3 guys that are three top defenders in Texas Tech, it's tough. They defeated BYU, who was undefeated over the weekend, and one of the main stars that's in the conversations for Heisman, which is mainly goes for off quarterbacks and things like that. On the defensive end of the side, Jacob Rodriguez, you saw how much he was a game changer when Houston faced off against Texas Tech. He was all over the place.
Yep.
I mean, he last game he reached against BYU again, which was undefeated, career high 14 tackles in one game. Like, he's all over. That's the guy that it's going to be NFL ready.
Yeah, you get a few of those in that roster.
Yeah. So honestly, it's gonna be interesting to watch to see where he goes. But that's definitely NFL talent roster, NFL talent right there. But so big shout out to that. He's in the Heisman conversation. Another person that's in the Heisman conversation that I do want to talk about, Fernando Mendoza. Fernando Mendoza, quarterback for the Hoosiers. He came over from Cal. Had some moments. So over the weekend, he had a moment where he rallied his team from behind. Honestly, not his best performance with Indiana, but in Penn State. So they played at Penn State, which is just a raucous crowd all over the place. It's very hard to play there at Penn State. And Penn State hadn't been doing that well, but their defense stepped up against the Hoosiers. But Fernando Mendoza towards the end, again, not his best game.
And he froze.
Okay, hear me?
Yeah,
there you go. Are we good?
Yeah, you froze for a second.
Where did I leave off? Oh no.
You were saying about Fernando Mendoza and then kind of cut off.
Okay, so Fernando Mendoza did I talk about the drive? Did you hear about the drive or no?
No, you
okay.
cut off.
So under 2 minutes, led the team to a game-winning touchdown in 80 yards down the field. And it's crazy because that particular drive started with a sack. So it was like he was pushed down all the way down to the 13-yard line. And then he just kept getting key essential third downs. And eventually he hit Omar Cooper down the line. And with a what they called an NFL style catch at the end zone, ends up bringing the Hoosiers back because they were about to lose. They were behind. They were about to lose, and he brings them back. They're the number 2 team in the country right now, and behind Ohio State. So they're, he's helped elevate that program. Now, point blank, I will say this: last season, the Hoosiers were up there as well. They were pretty high up in the rankings, but the fact that he came in and got the Hoosiers going like that, I mean, that moment made him one of the favorites for the Heisman. And I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, you still have guys like saying from the quarterback from Ohio State, who's also just, if you look at the stats, he's up on Fernando Mendoza stat wise, but everything else, and yes, Ohio State does face off against bigger competition, so that's another that's where he has an upper hand on Fernando Mendoza as well. But it'll be interesting to see. The Hoosiers don't really have much competition. I think they have Wisconsin as one of them, and so they don't really have much competition left. So as long as they keep winning, we're going to see how it plays out in the championships and as he goes on to the college playoffs. So it'll definitely be interesting to see how he's able to hold up and see if he's able to keep up right now the favorite one of the favorites for the Heisman Trophy. Aside from that, U of H plays back to the Big 12. U of H plays. Oh man, who did they play this weekend? I just went blank. Well, nonetheless, hold on. Give me 1 second. U of H is this weekend. Let me see football. Give me 1 sec. Should have that ready. TCU. Actually, until 22nd, my fault. Yeah, until 22nd, they'll be playing their last home game of the season against the Horned Frogs. TCU should be I think the U of H can get that one done. What do you think, Rios?
Yeah, I mean, it's a Big 12 rivalry, but I think TCU hasn't been playing up to their level they have the last few seasons, so I think they should be able to pull it off.
Yeah, no, I agree. And then the U of H will end the last game with the season with against Baylor, so that should be a victory for U of H. So it'll be interesting to see. We'll see how far they get. But yeah, that's all I got. What do you got? Anything else you want to say, Rios?
No, I mean, I told a lot of people before the season started that the UH would be a top 25 team.
Mm-hmm.
You're crazy.
Willie Fritz, man. Willie Fritz has changed that team around.
Yes, that's what I was telling one of my former coworkers. I'm like, if you look at his track record, he has a track record of turning programs around.
Yeah,
and like when the UH got to the Big 12, they were able to get bigger and better recruits. It's just basically putting it together and giving these kids the right coaching, and you're seeing the dividends pay off on the field every Saturday.
Yeah,
it's a top 25 team, and like I said, progression, just like with the UH men's basketball team. It's all about the little baby steps, getting into the top 25, cracking the top 10, getting up to, being eligible for the college playoffs.
Yeah. No, agreed. Sorry, I do want to say this is what I didn't mention the stats for Fernando Mendoza. So through 10 games, he's completed 181 of 254 passes for 2,342 yards and 26 touchdown passes and 5 rushing touchdowns. So also he's rushed for 240 yards this season. I mean, pretty impressive numbers. I could definitely see somebody picking him up in the draft if he decides to go. He's a junior, but if he decides to go for the draft, I could definitely see maybe the Jets. That's maybe the Jets, maybe the Dolphins. It's a lot of teams that will be looking for
probably
somebody.
Not the Jets. The Jets is not a very well-run organization. I think he needs another season to fully develop his skill set. I don't think he's NFL ready just yet. I think another year honing his craft will pay big dividends for him.
Yeah. 6'5", 225-pounder. Got the size, got the weight, got the elusiveness, but We'll see how it goes. If he decides to go for the draft, we'll see. But those I know for sure those will be the teams looking for a quarterback. Jets, Dolphins. I don't see Tua coming back. I don't. But you never know. That's the thing, huh?
Jaguars.
Jaguar. No, you think so?
I think the chatter over Trevor Lawrence has gotten a little bit louder as the season has gone on because the team has, even though they've been eking out wins, this guy is a top 5 paid quarterback in the NFL, putting top 18 quarterback numbers. I mean, the math's not mathing.
Okay. All right. There you go.
If not, next draft, if he continues the same level of play into the 26th season, yeah, it's going to be hard to justify giving someone that type of money because his contract numbers go up year after year. It's going to be hard to justify that when you're putting up, below par numbers or what you're being compensated for.
Huh? All right. Well, that's going to be it for us this week. Rios, appreciate you coming on the show. As always, guys, don't forget to give us a follow on our Instagram account at BBlitzPod, like it says down there on the banner. Also, our YouTube channel is the exact same thing, BBlitzPod. And of course, again, follow us up on our X page as well, which is the same thing at BBlitzPod. On our Instagram, you get to see all the college ball stuff that we've talked about as well. We're gonna upload some clips from this episode as well on our Instagram account, so that we can share some takes and things like that. So again, follow us up, stay current, and this weekend I'll be going to the Texas A&M South Carolina game, so that's going to be quite interesting. So we'll see how it goes. Texas A&M, number 3 in the country. It's looking like a real deal team.
Didn't see that one I didn't have that one on my bingo card.
Yeah. Marcel Reed's been playing well. It's coincidentally, I was there. So I was there at the when Marcel Reed went in, then they had benched last season against LSU. Coach had benched Connor Wayman, who's now playing for U of H, and put in Marcel Reed, and Marcel Reed just took off from there. So that's been interesting to watch. Kevin Concepcion has been ball out, coming over from from I think Carolina. I can't remember where he came from, but he has been a really good addition for how do you call it, for Texas A&M. And so I mean, it's gonna be fun to see how Texas A&M moves forward. I expect to see them at the Cotton Bowl this season, of course. I mean, the way that they're playing has been, again, outstanding. But yeah, LSU, did you expect LSU to have the type of season they were having?
No, I don't think anybody. I don't even think they did. I mean, it's just bizarre to see because you've always, the last few seasons, you've seen LSU as one of the premier programs in the country, and they've been a dumpster fire almost. Like, it's just bizarre to see.
Yeah, right. It's crazy to see how it's kind of regressed this season. So again, like you said yourself, it's been they were how do you call it, they were one of the top teams in the nation, and man, to kind of go down to this season like that. I mean, it happens, but it is what it is at the end of the day.
It reminds me a little bit of Alabama. They've been left, like, they kind of nosedive a little bit, but they're starting to get back up to where you expect to see Alabama at, but it takes time.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's going to be it for us. Again, like I said, just to clear it up, he came from NC State, North Carolina State. Kevin Concepcion. I was like, wait, where did he come from? But NC State. So transferred over to Texas A&M over the summer, has been a difference maker for them ever since. All right. Well, that's going to be it for us this week. Rios, if you don't have anything else, that's going to be it for us, bro.
Yep. No, I got nothing.
Sounds good. All right, guys. See y'all later. Peace.
Tell them bring on the blitz. 20 number dogs don't miss. and we go for the risk. Jumping and racing they fist. Regardless, they Poppy and Rios, they bring on the